All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Hope everyone had a good weekend, Thanksgiving, and good time off. And we're gonna go ahead and start our live stream. Updating kind of the look theme of our format. So trying something different, trying to kind of just kind of make it a little more polished. So we'll see how this goes today. And also for those that are new, I just started on, and I have my TikTok channel. You guys can go to that. I'm going to try to post, some quick, bites, sound bites in the morning typically. But throughout, if I see something interesting, it's just much easier to use that than X. So I'd rather use that. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on over here. So again, format's a little different. So we're just going to have to try this out and see what it's like. I think it's good for people that watch it because they can see the live chat. They can go back and see the live chat. So I think a lot of people actually watch it after. They don't call in, or watch it here online. They don't dial in. They watch it later. I can get over 1,000, 2,000 views later. So people watch it. So this would probably be helpful for people that watch it later. All right. So the market. Let's take a look at what we're doing right now. Let's take a look at how things are looking. And let's take a look. Go to our watch list. It's red. Are we surprised? No. We have to correct that move that happened over the holiday. Right? It's a straight up rally. Right? It's a straight up rally. So this got to correct. So we need to start a correction. Maybe this is the start of one. Bitcoin took a dump. Our live stream, we had a Black Friday live stream, and literally we called the top on the live stream like the second it ticked top, and then it just kind of trapped a lot of people here. A lot of people got trapped. I don't know, and now they got blown up, and now this is a sharp move down. This is pretty. This is a lot of momentum, actually. So we you got to be careful. Because we all know on our channel, this can be a 1-2, 1-2. It may not be a 5, but if it's another 2. So we have to be careful. So yeah, if this is starting, and if it is a 5, we're looking for, another low, and maybe it can get to 77.8. And then have a much bigger bounce. But remember, it doesn't have to do this, right? This is a conventional decline. It can just go right to our target. And then what was interesting, the market turned just when silver kind of started to break into our box here. I was noticing, and it looks like it's still extending, right? And it looks like we're trying to take that divergence out. So this may become another 1-2. Silver may extend. Okay, silver may extend. Depending on how you have this. So something like that. So this could become, I probably labeled this as another 1-2, just kind of 3 of 3. It's off. It's gone. And I don't know if they can allow silver to just run away. Go, I don't think they're going to allow that. But maybe it's too late. They just can't. They overdid it on the pumping, and the happy talk, and they got too much money flowing back in, thinking there's quantitative, this easing coming, and the consequences is metals, and eventually copper soon to follow. And then what are they going to do? What is the system? What are the central planner is going to do when copper's over $10, silver's over $100, platinum's over 4,000? What are you going to do then? What are you going to do? You can't print. You can't go to the printing machine and print more silver. You can't print more copper. You're stuck. And those prices may not be easy to get back lower. They may be stuck. And the system will have to deal with that kind of inflation and input cost pressure on your producers. So they're going to make less money per widget they manufacture. So guess what? Their stock's going to go down. That's what's going to happen. And then Or if they're going to try to charge people more money, their demand will go down and then they won't sell anything. So either way is bad, right? So there's a consequence of all the happy talk and pumping because the money is now flowing into commodities again. And now the oil, right? Oil is ready to potentially follow suit. And if oil does, right, then we could be looking at something like this, a big spike. 112, 120 is possible. I don't think the general public will really like that too much. It won't be a very popular president if that happens, no matter if the indices are still at all-time highs. So they can't have this. So what, coincidentally, oh, we're going to go to war with Venezuela now. I wonder if this has something to do with it. So, the system is at an inflection point and may not have much more room on the upside in the commodities to allow pump in here. Unfortunately, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So the market's going to figure this out. So the market's going to try to figure this out, and we'll see where who's going to win the battle. Is it going to be more of a deflationary, let's drain the system and kind of get these metals back down, cool them down, or just let's hope for the best. Let's let it run. We want high indices at all costs. Pump, 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 print, 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 lower rates, and screw the inflation and everything else that comes later. We'll figure it out later. But hey, we'll have higher indices and everyone will be happy, supposedly. All right, so that's kind of my take on the market, guys. Let's go to your requested stocks. I've never seen silver moving so much live on the charts. It's chaos. It's getting dropped right now. I have to. I mean, it is either, this, and they slam it back down, and then we know what they're not going to let this break out, or they've lost control. They've lost control, and if they lose control, I mean, we know on the historical chart it's in a 50-year cup and handle. This is the mother of all cup and handles. I don't think this will go down in textbooks hundreds of years from now on what happens here. And it's broken out. It's clear. It's too late already. All they can do is delay the inevitable, right? And this is kind of the path to delay the inevitable. You top in 3, you pull back in 4, you make a 5, you consolidate around, for a little bit. And then some point in the future, they let their guard down and this thing goes. That's probably, but it's too late. Like this path is already, that you can't rein it back in. We're going to see $300 silver in our lifetime. The banks are going to see it. So they better cover their shorts. And if they're foolish not to think that, they can delay it. They may be able to delay it. And I think to delay it, they need to act now, like tonight and tomorrow. If not, it's going to go. And it's going to go. And, we don't know the damage it's going to do. But anyway, this is a very interesting situation that we're seeing develop. And I don't think investors appreciate the pressure this puts on the financial system if it can run away, if it can run out of control, go out of control. Right now, it's still in control. They can still do something about this. But I think they have to sacrifice stocks to kill silver. And I think that's kind of like, the yin and the yang. They can't decide. You're going to have to either sacrifice indices into this December Santa rally, I think, and again, these are my opinion, to push back silver, or you just have to let it all go and hope for the best. All right, let's go back. Now let's go to your requested stocks. So the first one is QNTM. So we had this box, and it did produce a pretty nice reaction out. I was looking at it, and if we go to the 15-minute, the shorter time frame, we do see that momentum divergence. So that's probably your 3, 4, 5. So I think you have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's likely to make another swing higher, at least make another swing higher. Now we could be in a shallow connector wave right there. And if that's the case, it will fill the gap. So it's correct in the big move off the low. And, if it were to pull back, it may not do this double correction, but if it does it, right, we'll be looking at 769, 704. It's likely to come higher. And of course, you want to see this inverse head and shoulders play out. But once you get the 3, as you know, there's no guarantee for the 5. So it can easily just collapse back down. But the idea seemed to have worked for now. DVLT, just kind of updating this chart. We do have a higher high. We did make an impulse with a higher high and a flat. So it made a big flat. And then it came out in 5. And now it's pulling back, likely to come back down to this 4-2-4 cluster. We see this so many times on our channel. And once it does that, it can find support right around this area. So I would look for a deeper pullback potentially, but it does look like it should be continuing to continue higher with the higher high here. So again, the 2 could even make another flat. This is what iron did before it made its major run. It did something like this. So be on the lookout for weird. Iron had a flat and a flat, and then it proceeded to go up 400-500% after that. So if we see something like that, then I think it's pretty obvious what's happening. But right now, this is the count, and we'll just have to see where the market wants to take it. But I think it's more upside coming. All right, Dell is another one that we were looking at a while ago, but Dell's a lot tougher to forecast. It did make 3 swings down. There was a connector that was in a box that produced a rally. A profitable trade that didn't sustain itself, so it made a double correction. Now the double correction didn't erase divergence, but I think on the weekly it did. The daily, it would have been nice to see it on the daily, so there could be still a double correction. So we have 3 and 3. This pullback is too deep to make a 5, so it doesn't look like you're getting a 5 here. So it looks like you're either going to get a big double correction and it's going to come back down to like this 59, 56 area in a big double correction, or it's going to make something much more complicated. And this was another idea that we could see. We could have a W, X, and a Y, and then X can be a triangle that takes months and maybe even a year to play out. Like it could take a long time like that. So we don't know. Like it would be just guessing. So I think the only thing you can do is look at what's in front of you. What all you see is 3 down, 3 up, and this looks too deep for a 4. So it doesn't look like you're going to get a 5. So we have to expect either a double correction or a more complex connector with a failure later. And that's probably what's going to happen. So I think you just got to, look at it from that point of view. There's always a chance it could come out as a leading diagonal. If we call 2 done, we could call this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 3, 3, 3. So, but the rare patterns, and they usually come from major lows. Like they usually come off of low, like the first low. Not something like this. Not to say there's no rule against it, but it's not likely. So I think it's something like this. I don't think it's going to come right down here. I mean, it can, but I think you're going to get a 3-way move, and then the market's got to figure out what it wants to do. I don't think this is the low. All right, XOM. It's been a real tricky setup. It's got 2 possible paths, not 3 in my mind, just 2. Right now, this is a run-in flat that I have here. And if it's the case, we made 5 up and we're making another flat and we have just another low that would come back down to like 102.22. But if this doesn't happen, then we're still in the wave 2, the higher degree wave 2. And then what we have is 3, 3, and then 1, 5 waves down. And then we would call this 2 because we didn't take this peak out. So we'd have A, B. Let me see if I can get this right. C, and this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's either down to here or back down to 8180. The wave 4 cluster is way down here. We never even came close to it. So we can't we can't be too permeable on this chart because we haven't had a really deep correction. It's been a very sideways type of melt, kind of bleed off of the RSI, but typically these patterns end with like a quick crash, like, a spring. So I think we're going to get that either here or here. And that lines up with our oil forecast that I showed earlier. That breaks down. Now, if oil melts up and they lose control of oil, then this will make probably a smaller pullback and probably go. So I think that's kind of where we are with Exxon. But ultimately in the future, this is a stock to own in the future, right? This is a stock you want to own in the future, right? It's got a 1 2 1 2 or 1 2 1 2 setup. It's got, while the indices could be in a big decline if you believe the grand super cycle is over, perhaps energy won't show that same bearishness. Perhaps money will rotate into energy. The whole idea of sell everything, buy everything doesn't work. Doesn't typically work. You have to trade in multiple dimensions, and this is telling you maybe energy will be okay as the indices and technology could struggle. And of course, we've seen that before in history, right? That is not an uncommon relationship. Check 2022, check 1970s. That's a typical rotation type play. Energy gets a bid, technology and growth go down. So right now, though, I'm going to call it this, the more bullish interpretation, and there's really no reason not to. Now, if this high, if we can shoot, let's say we shoot out of this and take out these peaks, then it's go time. It's in 3 of 3 mode, and it's just defying gravity. Okay. Next is ELR. ALR. Okay, let me see here, guys. I got some feedback. So the new interface to graphic res is so bad. I mean, you already broadcast it. If you could, I thought I'm in 180. Let me just check. All right, so let me see if I can make the screen a little larger. I think I can make the screen a little larger. I want to try to keep the live chat in there so people can follow the chat. So let me play around with it real quick. So I'm just going to pause for a second and then see what I can do real quick. All right, so let me just see here if I can get rid of some of this stuff. And I should be in, if I'm not in this, if I'm not in 1080, I got to fix that too. So display capture, let me see here, make sure everything's good. Let's get rid of that. Labels, those labels, there they are. Checkbox over. Yeah. Yeah. There it is. All right, so we're gonna try to make this bigger. Sorry about that. Just again, trying to experiment with something new. We'll see. Like I said, not everything works the way it's supposed to, but we'll do our best. And we'll kind of move this over. And then We'll get it to work. We'll just kind of, well, I'll play around with it on my own time. We'll just kind of make it pretty easy here, and we'll try this. Chat may be too small, but hey, you guys just can't have it all work out. Let's just see if we can. Is that better? Or is that not working? Someone put in the... Is that better or not better? Yeah, I want to make it so it works. Like I said, I'm just trying to keep this chat box. Let me move that above the chart, because what we're finding out is people aren't able to follow me, because a lot of people watch the live stream after the fact. They watch it after the fact. So if you don't know what the chat is saying, it's like hard to understand what's going on. All right, let me see if I can do the 1080p and see if that can change that setting. Should be in 1080p, so I'm not sure. It says it's outputting at 1080, so I'm not sure if so that's not from, so it might be just the resolution. All right, so does this work? If this doesn't work, I'll get rid of the box. Someone put in the chat if this works or not. Or if this doesn't work for you, just go ahead and I'll just wait. I'm thinking there might be a lag here. That's good. Everybody's good. Okay, we can all see it. All right, we'll go with this. If someone has a hard time, we'll we'll figure it out later. All right, so we'll go with this, and then you guys can give me feedback. I gotta try to make changes when I can. I can't, just try to make it better. But obviously, if you can't see the graph, it doesn't work, right? It won't work. All right, so let's keep going where we left off. ELR. All right, ELR. ELR. It's when you look at how it bottomed again, it bottomed in 3 waves. But we know that the whipsaw up, which like it's gonna do, the C wave can go pretty high. It doesn't have to stop pretty, and so we will label it as if it's in a new bull market. So from here, it looks like you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, and then you have 3 down. Now you have 3 up here. So there's a couple paths. We could have this super bullish path. 1, 2. And then you could have another 1, 2. That's possible. And of course, the other path is the flat, right? And it does something like this here. A, right? But it holds the low. I don't think it's going to do that. Honestly, I think it's in this count. I think it's going to open higher. I think it's this. All right. I think it's the count. We don't see, we see the momentum diverge here. Let's go to the weekly. You see all that divergence? That's not typical. if this was a corrective bounce, we would have erased divergence here. In fact, your highest momentum peak is back in the first wave. So that's why I think it's a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, because we haven't even seen the third wave yet. So I believe that third wave, and if you're lucky, will happen on Monday. So yeah, up 20%. It could be up just as much or more tomorrow. PGE is also in the same kind of setup, and I believe it's got three waves down, and this is conservative. I think it's ready to do its own explosive move higher. So either you're going to get C, or it's going to turn into its own 1-2, 1-2 and go, you know, crazy high. So I don't know. It looks like it's ready to break out. Okay. Now here, just looking at it, you see divergence is here. So we know we're in the Y wave, but I don't think we have the swings in yet. When I went to the shorter cycle, this looked impulsive. So you need a C leg. So it looked to me like you're going to have another leg higher. Okay, that's what I think is going to happen in these. Now, after you finish this leg, then it can do so many things. And the same thing with ELR. Once it's finished, you know, it has a lot of possible paths. But I think, and we can go back and look at what silver's doing right now. It's like kind of a fluid situation. Right? Looks like it's trying to push it down or something here. You know. So we'll have to wait and see where it goes. But the bearish interpretation of these charts would be a flat from here, and we come back down, and then PGE, it does a double in B, comes back down to 19 cents, and then comes out in C. So one or the other. So there is a bearish interpretation to these charts potentially, but I do believe eventually the path is higher. Okay. Okay, good. You'd like the chat on the side of the video better without the chat. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of like I said, it's tough about the chat or not the chat. It's like some people like it, some people don't. I'll leave it on this time, and you know, we'll just see what happens. And I'll take everyone's feedback and then make a decision to get rid of it or keep it. So, all right. GCT. Okay, so now we're at the new symbols that I haven't been able to look at earlier, so they came in new. So let's take a look at GCT. Let's see here. Okay, so there's a bunch of them. All right, so GCT, not a lot of chart data here, but let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, all we can tell is it's some kind of three-wave move, five-wave move, or a three-wave in process. So likely to go higher. Likely to go higher, right? It's some kind of three-wave move. Three-wave move. And now what are we here? So it's not complete. So it looks like a 3 of 5 right now, but it can change into something else as time goes on. So 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But again, this can't be the shortest wave. So, and if that's 5, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's over. But Y can't be in 5, it's got to be in 3, so you would pull back and then you would come out like that, right? We have to, let's go to a shorter time frame. So that doesn't look like, oh, there we go. So maybe, yeah, maybe it's over. So I think this is how I would label it as of now, but it's really fluid. It can just extend real quick, and then it turns into the three-wave move. This is your B wave, right? This would be a W, X, Y. This would be a W, W, X, and then Y, and then it's over. But I think it goes higher. So as of now, this is the data. It shows this kind of path. But I could also label it this way. Something like this. And then just, it surges in the next couple days and finishes. And then, and see, it's moving in 3 waves, but then it could morph into 5 waves. So there's just not enough data, but it does look like, because of the sequence, the correction in the higher high, and then with the momentum divergence, it looks like to me it's going to want to push higher. Okay. AAOI, you know, we look back at our channel. That was a pretty good entry. 5 up, a pullback. Now, what is all this, right? What is going on here? Is that still 2 or not? Could be. Let's take a look. So that's what it looks like, a flat. So it took a different path down, but let's take a look at it against this low. So it did. So we didn't want this to be below this peak. Let's look at the weekly. So it's good. So yeah, it's just a wave 2 in a flat pattern, and it looks like it's over. Like I can label that. It looks actually just like I would have expected it to be if it was in a flat, right? Because that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, that's what it looks like to me. And there's your divergence. There's your 5. So it's got to hold. In my opinion, it's got to hold that low. If it doesn't, well, then you're like, okay, the C's extending, but then you're going to run out of room, right? And then you're left with the bearish interpretation, where you have an A, B, and a C, right? And then it's going to do a huge double correction, right? And come back and probably just break that low. But the RSI needs to stay high, as you know, the bottom of that needs to stay above. So this, yeah, I mean, that'd bring you back down to 472. So that low has to hold, or you could be in danger of a double correction, right? And then you're above this. But if you go back and once you break this low, then you're going to go do the double correction, and it's going to be very more bearish. So the bull, this has to hold, in my opinion. If it doesn't, we would update the chart to make it, you know, WXY, A, B, C. So W, X, Y, and then this would be A, B, C. All right, we can look at this leg and take a look. It looks like 5 up. So that's a good sign, right? It's always a good sign. So maybe you just started an impulse, right? If it was 3 waves up, I'd be more concerned. Now, it can still, just like I said, Monday we wake up, it does that, and then it becomes a corrective move. It erases divergence. So we don't know if it were to pull back from here, then that would be impulsive. It would have a pullback, and then you could expect another leg higher. And then you're like, okay, the odds of it being a B wave are much lower, very low. All right, Newegg, let's see how this is doing. So again, we're seeing these 4s and 5s. It's like, which wave 4 are we in? We have to go to the higher time frame. So it looks like we are correcting the whole leg. So it looks like we're correcting this whole leg, right? So what we had is an extended 5th wave. There's no other way to label it. So we have to label it. We'll just have to label it in this fashion. 1, 2. Right. The RSI is telling us this is how you want it needs to be labeled. But the good thing is, since it's 5 up, it's likely to react higher at some point. Now, again, it has to hold this $30 level. And it has no divergence there. So it's only a corrective bounce right now. So this could be the low, but you can see that's a corrective bounce, and the 4, it's got to make that 5 pretty soon. If it can't, you're at risk for a double correction. I think if it breaks this low at 69.31, you're going to get a double correction, and I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back and tags this trend line. That it seems like every time it tags, it has a support, right? Draw it a little bit there. So it's either going to come back down and tag this trend line, or it's going to make a 5 and then correct. So I think right now it's tough to say which one it's going to do, right? So that's what you're hoping for. If that doesn't happen, you're going to get the double, and then 2 is going to come down here. All right, lithium. America has, so we had a crash correction. It looks like 5 waves down to me. That box not really relevant at the moment, so it looks like it, but let's check it out. So a little bit of momentum divergence here with this low. It looks like 5 waves down from this low, and that means you need another leg lower. So to me, it looks like it's in something like this count, B, and then you get one more leg lower. B can still go higher though, right? And it's likely to do that a little bit more. That looks like a 5 up there. Ooh, that's pretty overbought already. Maybe it can go a little bit more. So maybe it won't go that much higher looking at it. But I think that this rally fails and makes one more leg lower. And then it does come back to retest these lower areas that I've shown here. Okay. So that's LAC. All right. Just couldn't. All right. So, all right, I'm just kind of looking at everyone's comments. Yeah, I mean, if this is too much of a change, we'll just go back to the way it was. I'm just trying to do something different. It's not a big deal. But one night isn't going to kill anyone. All right, so, and again, let me take a look here. Let me lost where I was looking here. Let me just make sure I have everything. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Next set of questions. Hive. Hive is the next one. All right. Let's do Hive. So it's kind of, as you know, married to crypto and Bitcoin, right? So we saw this 4. The question is, what did it correct on that 4? See how it kind of corrected that whole leg? And you had a momentum divergence. Let's look at the daily. Even the daily. And we're seeing the 3-wave nature. So my guess is it's going to do this. Let me just see here. A, B, C, and then it's going to, because to me it has to follow Bitcoin. Now, I think I would be irresponsible to say it's bottomed here, right? We have this bounce is correct in the whole leg. So technically it is bottomed. It has bottomed, okay? It was a strong enough bounce to bottom in this count, okay? It is what it is, okay? And Again, let me just kind of update this a little bit. But I think with Bitcoin going lower, again, I just want to see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so something like that. So with Bitcoin going lower, it's hard for me to not think it's going to do another leg lower, right? It just seems like it would do that, or it's gonna make like a complex X, which we've seen before, where it does something like this, like that, where Bitcoin goes down and this kind of whipsaws back up and does something erratic. So I think for the point of view, I mean, it's clear this cycle is over and you're building off of this low. So I would just label and trade it what you have in front of you. And right now you just have 3 waves up. And those look like they subdivide into 3 as well. So it's a very corrective looking bounce. Okay, it looks like a corrective bounce. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. WXY. It's subject to change. It could be a lead in diagonal, right? We talked about that. Could be a lead in diagonal coming out of the low. If it did this. Right? Then that changes things. But we don't have that yet. So I think you just have to keep an open mind that Bitcoin is probably going to pressure this down. And if Bitcoin is going to do a 5, it shouldn't drop too much more, right? Because once it makes this 5, another minor low, it's going to have probably a multi-month sideways to higher consolidation period, right? In this 4. So that could support crypto for a while. That could allow MicroStrategy to squeeze higher. You know what I mean? But if you don't get this 5 and it just crashes, you're screwed in Hive. You're screwed in all your crypto. And that's the risk you could be taking if you're going long. So we just don't know, unfortunately. And if that's the case, then this is the right count right here and right here. So we just don't know. So I think that's as much as I can really tell you about Hive at the moment. And with more data, we can get maybe a little bit more clarity in the forecast. But it's clear that the bounce was strong enough that we've corrected this whole leg. And it can't be a 4 anymore. So it's something else. It's either the low is in and it's going to make that 5th wave you're hoping for, or it's not. All hell will break loose. Or you chop around like I showed you before, something crazy like this, which we've seen so many times on our channel. All right, that's all I really can say about it. All right, run. Stock is run. Sunrun, all right. Sunrun. Solar. So we like solar for the future. I worry that it's going to double correct. How's this doing? So it held the low. Looks impulsive to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Clearly with momentum divergence. Even on the monthly. So it's a beautiful impulse with a real nasty correction. I mean, look at that. But you've come back and you've even taken that high out. So it's probably done. That's the bottom, right? So it's ended. It's now in the next cycle higher. Solar has done that. Solar is in the next bull market, right? It's going to be a leader in the future. Now, right now, though, I think you're going to get a double correction. Now, if oil is going to go down, this should double correct. Now, if oil will not do that and it breaks out, if oil breaks out, then obviously I think solar stays supported. So this is your connect. So I think you're going to get a double correction. This is tough because all of the solar stocks I track, are in this setup, I think you'll get a double correction, and I'll get to 14.55. Maybe the last opportunity to be able to buy this. If solar double corrects, that may be your last chance to really get it at a good bargain basement price. And then it's out. But there's a possibility it's already done. Just like energy, just like oil. So it's tough to say. I don't like selling it, and I think it's one of those ones you just tuck away and you just hold for the future. At some point you're going to have an energy crisis. I don't know what year. And then whenever you do, this thing's going to be way up here. But somewhere in here. So you're going to have to play the long game. If you're looking for a quick pump in these solars, so you may not get it. But if you're a patient, long-term, big picture investor, then you just tuck these away for another day. You just tuck them away. And that's what I've been saying about solar. We saw it break out of its major correction, and we've been keeping an eye on it. Our elite members keep an eye on it. I still think it's at risk of a double if oil will go back down, like I'm forecasting. But if they print too much money, ease too much, and they lose control of oil too, like they did silver, well then this is breaking out. There'll be no double correction. Taller capture area of the charts would make all the text. Yeah, I'm gonna play around with all that. I don't want to do it while everyone's on the live stream. I think, like I said, this is an experimental live stream. For this, I must have hundreds of live streams. So the one time I change it, just to see what it would do. So anyway, it's just an experiment, and we'll just kind of finish this up. I don't have that many more questions left. All right, then UVIX. All right, thanks for the big super chat. I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate. So in UVIX, I know I should not. Past month was a mess for me. Thanks for everything you do. I appreciate that. Good. In UVIX. Oh, you're in UVIX. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think, you always got to do what's best for you. Okay, you always got to do what's best for you. That's the first thing I want to say. So if you're holding on a position that just keeps losing money, you can just keep losing more money. There's never a guarantee. I think the people that held UVIX when it broke 25 regret holding that. They weren't able to let it go. Could we be in that situation? Here, I don't think so. This is the UVIX. Now, I do think it could still drift lower. Maybe tonight things are changing. But if I look at my UVIX count, right, I have an A, B, C. The count's over. So maybe it's done already. Now, I was thinking it would extend, maybe become something different and get down here, but it doesn't need to do that. So I still think this whips around and does something like this, and the VIX continues to eventually break out. The VIX pushing higher lows, higher low, higher low, and just kind of eventually melting up. I do think that's I think that's what's going to happen. So, but again, I hate to say that, and I'm wrong, and you keep losing all your money. So you're going to have to decide what you want to do. But this is the information I'm providing you. You have to make a decision. This is what I think. Volatility is still coming. I still think we're going to get volatility. Okay. And my market forecast shows a leg lower, even if it could be done now. We could still play around. Now this would hurt your UVIX position if it did something like this. Okay, I mentioned this earlier here to our members this weekend. What if it did that and filled the gap? The UVIX is probably going lower. Then when that happens, your UVIX is going to be going in that C leg. So, that's why it's tough. Trading's tough, but hopefully that information helps you make the right decision. Okay, USAR. They've been kind of weak lately in MP as well. So we had to call this a 1-2, a 1-2-1-2 setup. And that's our label for it. It's trying to correct the whole leg. You see the daily cycle, it's opening up. The weekly cycle's corrected. So it's probably bottomed. I mean, I'll be honest, it's probably bottomed right there. Because there's no more room for it to go. If it goes any further down, what is it going to do? Go to zero, go bankrupt before it even got started? Didn't they just pump all these rare earth companies, right? And these investment funds and what? They're all going to just go bankrupt and go to zero. Their equity holders they're not going to zero, guys. I think this was just a shakeout because people chased it. People bought it up here thinking, I'm going to be rich. And they just got blown up. They just got blown up. Now, it's time to, hey, if you missed the move, you may want to tuck a little bit away now. Again, for the bigger picture, look at all these wave threes yet to happen, I think. In a couple years from now, we'll do this live stream. I'll be around. When you come back and ask me about this, I have a feeling it's going to be up here and it's not going to be down here or go to zero. I can't imagine you're going to let these rare earths go to zero. How can the equity holders allow that to go to zero? They're not going to let it. It's like a strategic situation now for the country. Like, they're not going to let these things go bust anymore. So I think this was just a brutal shakeout of weekends and people who chase. A brutal shakeout. Because there's no more real. I mean, again, like I said, I just can't see it. I just can't see this breaking. And if you look at the bounce, it's a pretty healthy bounce. And I think that daily cycle is telling you it's ready for a bigger rally higher. So maybe there's going to be an issue with China. Maybe all of a sudden they're going to renege on their rare earth deal, alleged deal, and these will pump again. All right. Okay, let's see. I think I covered USAR. I got a few more coming in. Yeah, I'll still keep the cover page, the cover page is fine. I'll figure it out. All right, SII. What is that? Let me take a look at what that is. SII. Is that what you want, Sprout? Is that it? I just want to make sure it's the right one, but I'll do that. Looks like we'll just have to keep labeling the waves. Something like this. Right? Kind of playing out like we wanted it to. But we'll have to check the RSI in a minute. So we corrected this leg. Higher lows still. Yes, this is right. So that's the label. It's probably still in this fifth wave. Maybe one more high, and then you get another 4 and 5. Right? This 4, see how long that 2 took? So that 4 could take a little bit of time whenever that ends. Right? And then you could put that 3 in. So we don't know. It could extend. It may not top right here. It could easily, this could become another 1-2 and just keep going. So I think a pullback's coming to correct this leg from October 23. And this was a nice cup and handle breakout. And it looks like it happened just like we thought it would. Okay, the next one is, so yeah, I'd be looking for maybe one more high, and then you could see a bigger pullback. But it may not be a 4, it may be another 2. All right. Some crypto coins. A couple of these I have done, I think, and some of them are new. All right, so let's look at the ones I think I have. So cryptos, the altcoins, guys, what I've been saying about the altcoins is that flash crash low has to hold. If your altcoin, I think, breaks that flash crash low, it's in a dire position. And potentially it's in meltdown, go to zero. I don't know if it's a Luna, but it has to hold those flash crash lows. So that sets the floor in the market. So if your favorite coin breaks it, you need to maybe think of abandoning ship. I know it's a religion to hold, but there's no sense just losing all your money. So let's take a look. And I have no idea what these charts are going to look like. So let's see. So we had the flash crash low here, and it's holding above it. So now we need to take a look at the bigger picture and see what's going on. Now see how when that low happened, it took out all these lows. So it ruined the bullish setup. If this exchange is right? Because they're all exchange dependent. Some exchanges, you get different prices. So if I use this exchange, the chart is toast, right? It's gone. It's game over. Like this is going to just keep going to zero. Now I'm going to go look at another exchange though, right? Let me see. This is on KuCoin. Let's find something else. Let's look at another exchange. Let's do Bitfinex. See, this one held, right? I'd rather trust this than KuCoin. So we're going to use this chart. So we're going to have to kind of relabel everything. All right. So looking at AVAX. I mean, looks like here you have some kind of 3-wave move. So it's kind of moving in 3 waves. And now the question is, where are we on X? Yeah, this is an A down. Well, let me take that back. So you have 3 waves down here. And then you have 3 waves up from there with the momentum divergence. So yeah, you put that there. And now you're in this Y, in this X. Yeah, because this B broke this low and this low broke that low, that's why it's going to get, I think, another push lower. But it's almost done, the sequence, in my opinion. It's almost done. It's almost done. See, it could be almost done, but I think it's going to have more downside. This looks like 5 waves down, so you need 5 waves. And you see it's going to come back. It's probably going to take that out. And that's going to create the panic. Let me see here. Let's go to the daily cycle and see if we can see 5 waves, because this is important. Yeah, see, there's your 5. So I think what we're gonna see, in this C leg is probably moving in 3 waves down. Is you're gonna probably see it continue a little lower. So again, it makes sense, right? If Bitcoin's going lower, this would go lower too. So it looks like this could be 5 right here. So this is tricky because it could do, well, see, that won't work. Was it erase momentum divergence right there? So it looks like potentially a 1-2-1-2 setup here. And then maybe we can call that the first 3 and 4 and 5. So I would, again, this is how I would label it. And I think we'll stick with Bitfinex's charts. So I think it's going to have some kind of capitulation move. I don't know where it's going to end. It's likely it's going to break that flash crash low. That will create the panic. And it makes sense if Bitcoin's going down, right? It would take us down with it, right? But it almost marries up to where Bitcoin is a little bit. So something like this. But we need some separation to the downside. Okay, that's AVAX. ICP, let's take a look. A lot of red tonight. Bitfinex, let's see if we can find it. Yeah, ICP US. I don't see it. Maybe it's not on there. All right, so we'll just trade the one we have done already. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So again, broke the low. So kind of messes the chart up a little bit. Right, that's what happened with that flash crash because it was kind of the perma-bear scenario, right? So we don't really entertain that. It was such an anomaly, but it happened. This goes to show you sometimes, you know, the perma-bear forecast does play out. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with that. Yeah, we don't have a good label here. So more than likely you've got 1, 2. Yeah, I wish we had more data, better data than that. Let's look. Yeah, I don't know. I think given the absence of the data, we may not get it completely perfect, but I'll do my best. Call it an ABC from here. And then we bottomed, you know, somewhere down here. And then you made 3 down. No erase and divergence. So the question is that 3 up or not? It looks like some kind of 5, but let's go to the weekly cycle. See, we still have 5 up. So if I put that C there, and this is where we don't have all the information we need, but I think you would label this. Maybe you put it here and do that. And then perhaps you can go to a WXY. If you went to a WXY, then this low could hold, because then you have 3 down and 3 and 3. And then you may have this, and something like that. That looks like 3 down, 3 up, 5 down. Yeah, and this is a connector for this leg. So I think it's going to do something like this. And then this was something like that. It's the same kind of chart. I think I'm willing to bet most of crypto is going to look just like something like this, where you get one more low and you need 5 waves down from this peak. And then this is a 1 2 1 2 likely. Or maybe not. Maybe that's 5 down here. It could do 1 2 3 4 5 and rally and then go down, or it can be in the more bearish 1 2 1 2 setup. And just go down. So I think you got to kind of plan for the worst here, given what we've seen and what we see happening. So again, it's very similar to the avalanche chart, right? It's one more low, and this is like a very ugly bottom, and you're basically trying to trade a whipsaw out of this bottom, because it bottomed in an irregular way, right? With all these lower lows. That's what you're hoping for, if it can survive. That's what you're hoping for. Okay, the next is this STRK. That one I know I don't have done. Starknet token. All right, we'll use Bitfinex on that. Again, just not enough data, but probably some kind of 5 waves down. So it could, typically I would normally say it should rally from here back up to the 4. 1 2 3 4. Again, is 5 done here. And then you have, again, that whole flat situation. I think if you count the waves, that's where you would have to put the 5. You'd have to put it here, because you have 1 2 3 4, and you would have to put that there. 1 2 3 4. Let's go ahead and label it just to see. Then 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4 5 3 4 5. Okay, see, when you label it, I think it makes more sense now. That makes more sense there. And then this is kind of the same chart we just have been staring at, right? And it's probably going to do the same thing, and you're hoping for this to stay in existence so you get C later. So that's one cycle, so you probably have another cycle lower coming. Here you have a lower low, you have a rally, so this one's the most bearish of the two we've seen tonight. See, it's already starting its next leg down. So there you go. So it's probably going to, again, same kind of setup. And then what you're hoping for is this, this, and this. But remember, the coin may just go out of existence when this happens. And again, this is the same for all crypto right now. I know it's like a sad thing for people to hear, but this is what the charts are saying at this point, right? This is the chart. The charts are saying this, and if it changes, it changes. But it's just you know, there's a bigger sell-off going on behind the scenes. All right, well we'll use Kraken. Same thing. It's probably going to be the same discussion, right? This one's even worse. This one looks even worse than the others. I mean, let's just assume that's a peak, and so now you come down in a 5. Looks like 5. Nope. 1, 2, 3 connector. 1, 2, 3. So it's a WXY. This one may be easier to label than the others. So let me put you. This one may be actually easier to label. That's probably your connector right there. Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I probably want to go with that one. Yeah, no, I think we need to go with this one. We have to go with this one. Same thing, WXY in a little smaller degree. And then you need ABC down, right? Or WXY down. And probably going to get a WXY down. So that's X's here. And now you're in Y. And it looks like there's your B. So it's kind of the same chart we just looked at. It's starting its next leg lower. So something like that. One more push down. Same setup. Now this push here could do something like this. And do something like that even. Because as you can see, this W is pretty complex. Took time. This is very short. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it take on a more complex shape. And that goes for all of those. All right, I think I covered it all. I really appreciate it. Thanks again. Oh, I did miss the Solana. Yeah, I am sorry about that. Let's go back. I remember. Let me go back and I'll read the first question. I remember looking at that earlier. Yeah, sorry about that. Can Solana short-term bounce to 105.60 before lower? And then if Solana takes the fib 110, 118, how much of a dead count bounce will it be before going lower? Okay. So Solana, looking at it tonight, I was able to look at this before live stream. We're going to have to go with the more bearish interpretation. It just doesn't look like there's enough room to hold this low. I think it's going to break the low, so I went ahead and updated it. So even though we had 5 up, I think we went to this ABC, and that produces 3 down. And then 3 up, and now you're in this correction here, right? This correction here that needs again another leg down. So I think you could try to target $91. So dead cat bounce. If you're in this C leg, the dead cat bounce would be, you know, like one of these rallies, right? This looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, 2. So you're in 3 right now. You're in the 3, right? That's why it dropped so hard. So whenever this ends, it should dead cat bounce, right? You talk about dead cat bounce. Where could that happen? Well, maybe it happens at 115. But would I want to play that? Hell no. Because if you're basically playing a counter trend rally where you essentially are gonna get annihilated. Think of all the trap buyers that bought up here that didn't sell, didn't do anything. They're all gonna panic. So why give them exit liquidity? Like, I would be looking to short, if anything. If you can break this low, right? So this is the area though. I think it's gonna go here. Okay, chart support. There is a little bit of chart support right where the box is. Now, what's interesting is once you get through this level, there's no chart support. So if it can't hold this level, I mean, this box essentially goes to 0. So it's like a huge area, no chart support until you get back down to these much lower levels. I know it's very tough to hear this kind of information, but I think this is where we're likely to go, and that would break this low here. So I think this is where it's going. Okay, I think this is where it's going. And let's go to the next one on GME. GME, yeah, the live stream. I had an issue that this Streamlabs or whatever, they update their software, and then it wasn't syncing up to my YouTube account anymore. And for some reason in its cache, it kept pulling up that old live stream, and I just couldn't clear it. So I just had to delete the live stream, and then it fixed the issue. So yeah, it's sad I had to delete it. So I know people didn't get to see that unless you were on it. It was, I guess, a software glitch, and a live Streamlabs been messing up lately for some reason. All right, GME was watching your last live stream, and it got deleted while I was watching. Okay, GME. GME's counter trend rally that is in a very interesting spot. The conventional view, it's about to end at any moment, and then have the next leg lower like I'm showing here. But we can't rule out a bigger swing higher, something like this. So that right now, this bounce is correcting this leg, but if we do a double, we'd correct this whole leg. Okay, I still think it fails though, but I think right now that's going to be what the market, it's going to be up to the market. And I think the only path I can see the market taking to allow this to happen, something like that to happen, is if the NASDAQ does something like this, is what I'm thinking. Pulls back this week a little bit and then pops, does something like this. That would probably allow GME to do that. If the NASDAQ has peaked, then it's probably done. GME is probably done and is about to have its meltdown mode. The meltdown mode for the final low, capitulation low. All right, that's kind of the update. And Dan was wondering if YT didn't like how you were right about silver. YT, I'm not sure who YT is. If I don't know who YT is, but YouTube. Oh, if you mean YouTube, if YouTube didn't like how you were right about silver. All I know is, guys, about silver. Oh, YouTube, yeah, silver. Here's the thing about silver. Anybody who asked me, was the one thing you need to buy years ago, I said silver. Someone asked me, I think it was, what time was last year, around August. And they knew me personally. A lot of people that are subscribed to me know who I am, right? They personally know, and they talking to me, and I was like, they're always like, well, tell me what to buy. And of course, I'm got to be very careful, because even if you know, I can't tell you what but I'm like, look, I'd pick up some silver, right? And that's what I kept telling people. But yeah, no one did it. I don't know why. It's so funny how the market is like that, how people are like that, right? Like, you're like telling people to buy silver, and I don't know, where was it trading back then? Down here somewhere. It was 24. Where was August? Or, yeah, around August 24. Where were we at? Somewhere down here. 26 bucks. It's 57 now. Okay. Now everyone is talking about it. Okay, so that's concerning a little bit, right? That could be the 3. And then it needs to cool off and people need to lose focus on it again. You know, maybe it does something like this, right? This is the path. But it may not. It may not. But we're going to know pretty soon. Look, it's up 2% already. It just keeps squeezing. They may have already lost control of the market. They may have already lost control. It's going to be a fascinating week. I mean, a fascinating week here to see how this plays out. But anyway, that's a silver. I don't know if YouTube. I think YouTube is like, I don't know if I'm shadow banned on YouTube or not. I don't know if the algorithm allows my videos to get out there, but it is what it is. You know, I definitely say things that they don't want said. I don't think they want said. I think I say things that they rather you not hear. I do believe that. Okay, let's go into the next question and see if there's anything else going on. If I got any other questions. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to, I'll fix the live stream for next go around. I just wanted to have everyone have an opportunity to call in, ask their questions in case you had any more. I'll wrap it up tonight. We are seeing a sell-off. Crypto. So here's what surprised me. I'm surprised how strong this wave down is, because typically a 5 is kind of choppy. Counter trend takes, because the trend is turning. This would be worrisome. This kind of big move now. I'll be even more worried if I wake up tomorrow morning and we're down here at 81 or 82. Because then you got to be careful. We could be in a 1-2-1-2. Okay, and if you're in a 1-2-1-2, you guys know what's coming. Then we're gonna go from here to here before anyone realizes what happened. That's what's gonna happen. So that's a pretty sharp turn. I'm not saying it, just kind of surprises me. That's kind of a sharp turn. Okay, that surprises me. Indices red doesn't surprise me. We need to correct this pump. It has to correct. Now the question is going to be: are you going to get this kind of 3-wave reaction before a bigger pullback, or is this it? And yeah, last week was an ultimate bull trap in the history books of traps. We don't know, so we'll find out. I think they said Paul is speaking tomorrow, so I'm sure he's not too happy about silver. I'm sure his handlers told him he needs to be hawkish and cool these metals off. So he may try to cool things down if I understand his schedule right. I don't follow that. I just read this stuff on X that come up. Because again, the metals is an issue, right? Copper, silver, platinum, these are issues. But oil is the one that the general public, the average Joe feels. Main Street. This is the one the politicians can't allow to have, silver, whatever. But the bankers care about silver. The bankers care. But Main Street cares about oil, and the politicians don't get reelected with oil higher. So they can't allow this to break out. But I don't see how this happens that I'm showing here without the markets going lower and a growth scare or hawkish talk or something. Unless they're just going to go steal all the oil in Venezuela and put it on the open market or something crazy. Like, I don't know what will do this. So if they keep talking up and pumping the markets, this will break out. And if it breaks out, it's going up here. Up here. And people are going to be pissed off. All right, guys, that's all I got. Good night. And let's see what happens tomorrow, guys. Yeah, give me up to 5,000, guys. Give me up to 5,000. I appreciate that. I'm on TikTok. I'm going to try to get people that use TikTok more to kind of come over. So maybe that will help us grow. But yeah, help me grow the channel because I can, do more as I grow. And that's what I've been trying to do. All right, guys, that's all I've